This is Stephen Ash here at the School of Sacred Drumming. Today we're going to explore your ancestors, the makeup of you relative to your ancestors, and how the ancestors fit into the medicine wheel of the year. It's a really beautiful picture that has developed, because the medicine wheel is a very powerful tool. And when you keep the consciousness of yourself being in the center of the medicine wheel, that the world around you is empowering you and informing you. Like, what do they say yes to the universe. Yeah, because, the universe is everything outside of me. And everything inside of me is so complex, like the universe out there is complex. And I need to know the distinction between the outside of me and the inside of me. These both complex areas of exploration. The inside of me is my consciousness. It hasn't got such a clear distinction as each of the sacred directions of the medicine wheel. It's very clear that I'm sitting here on a chair in a room with stuff that I'm interested in. And all the stuff that I'm interested in, all the things, are made of the earth, made of Mother Earth. This drum here is made of the earth. These smudging herbs here are made of the earth. So finding this distinction between the outside and the inside, and making a clear pattern for yourself on the outside so that you can see it as a reflection of the inside, is a vital part of what they call shamanic or natural healing. So we're going to start this journey off with a little bit of smudge. I'm going to put some smudge here in this hollow stone and light the smudge. This is Artemisia and other herbs. I honor me just the way I am. I honor me just the way I am. I honor you just the way you are. I honor you, I honor you, I honor you. Wow. Spirit of the South, you bring us healing and laughter. Spirit of the South, you bring us healing and laughter. Whole power of the South, thank you for my children. Thank you for Renata. Thank you for Renata for giving me children. Thank you for my community. Thank you for all the people who stimulate my life, allow my life to be meaningful. Thank you, power of the South. Thank you for the healing inside me, healing for my heart and my body. Spirit of the West, you bring us cleansing and insight. Whole power of the West, thank you for all the past and thank you for the future, that I'm walking towards the West door. I'm walking towards where life comes to an end. Thank you for my ancestors. Thank you for water. Thank you for showing me that I need to forgive myself and forgive others. I need to keep in good consciousness. Thank you very much, Spirit of the West. Home, behind me. Spirit of the North, you bring us wisdom and purity. Whole power of the north behind me. Thank you for the mystery that I don't understand. Thank you for that which is far beyond me, a little human being living on this planet. Thank you, mystery. Thank you, ascended beings, Queen of Angels, the Great Mother. Thank you, rocks and stones. Thank you, Kuan Yin, Mother Mary. Thank you, White Buffalo Calf Woman, for giving me a beautiful little black pipe here. Oh, thank you. Spirit of the East, Spirit of the East, you help the new dawn in us rising. Hope power of the East. Thank you for new beginnings. Thank you for this day. Thank you for being able to communicate as a teacher and be able to receive as a student. Thank you for the air, and thank you for the wind, and thank you for the eagle. And thank you for this new moment, every moment that comes in brand new. Thank you. Oh, Grandmother Earth, you give us food and shelter. Oh, Grandmother, thank you for giving me a good breakfast this morning. Thank you for giving me this beautiful drum. Thank you for giving me a great body to live in. Thank you for giving me this home. Thank you for all the books and all the musical instruments, Mother. They all come from you. Thank you. Grandfather Sky, you breathe the breath of life into me. Oh, Grandfather, thank you for the breath of life. Thank you for this opportunity to use prayer and to call on the breath, on the sanctity of my breath. Thank you for giving me this moment of existence to breathe, to be conscious of being alive. Thank you for loving Mother Earth with your sunlight and your golden light and all your rays of information. Thank you, Grandfather. Oh, and Spirit of within, you are my appreciation. Oh, Spirit within me, when I touch my body and I drum on my body, I can feel inside me that I am alive. And my consciousness is harbored like a ship in a harbor, and my consciousness is like this beautiful vessel inside this harbor of my body. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to express outwards and to see outwards and to taste the tastes in my mouth. Thank you for this consciousness, Spirit within. Thank you for, since I was a little tiny baby, you've been traveling with me, making sure I'm safe. You're my true guide, Spirit within. So that's a good place to start. You know, my real spirit guide is my inner world, my spirit within. And when I have this consciousness of high quality for myself, then I know my spirit within is going, yeah, Stephen, that's the real you. That's the real you. And so I'm talking to real you out there, coming through the lens. You are a future. And I have a future. And you have a future. And how do your ancestors come through you? That's what's vital. That's what's vital to know. So what I've done here on this beautiful drum is I've painted the sacred directions. And what we're going to do is we're going to start off by showing you where your mother and father are in the medicine wheel. And then we're going to show you, or I'm going to show you, we are going to show you, we is the plural because I'm guided by many good spirits. And those good spirits, they're teachers like I'm a teacher. And so in a way, I'm a bit of a vehicle for something sacred to happen, like you are a vehicle for something sacred to happen. And when you recognize how your ancestors, your mother and your father, which is the first generation of ancestors, and their parents, you kind of sense them, you remember them, how they fit into the medicine wheel is how they fit into your medicine wheel, because this is the medicine wheel we're talking about, this thing here, this human body. So how does this human body fit into the medicine wheel? I'm either following my ancestors or I'm facing up to my ancestors. It's one or the other, because it's like the palm of my hand. I'm either facing the palm of my hand or I'm following the palm of my hand. I do Tai Chi, and sometimes my hand is coming towards me and it's facing me, and sometimes my hand is going away from me. So facing and following. Firstly, we're going to start off by showing you where your mother and your father are on the medicine wheel. And we're going to set it up firstly as if we're facing our parents and our grandparents. So get into the vibe at the moment that you are going to be facing your mother and your father and your grandmothers and your grandfathers at the same time, okay? So I'm going to allow you to see that there's a line, this is a line here, going between the north of the medicine wheel and the south of the medicine wheel. So yellow's in the south, white's in the north, red is in the east, and black here is in the west of the medicine wheel. I've put a nice picture here of my parents and my daughter Joy in here because I've been working with my ancestors over these last few days. So this line here is the separation between, if I'm facing my parents and my grandparents, I'm facing my mother on this side of the medicine wheel and my father on this side of the medicine wheel. So between summer solstice and winter solstice is going to be the region of my father, and between winter solstice going over to spring equinox is going to be the region of my mother's family. So I say hello to Pa. I say thank you, Pa, for a good life. Thank you for siring me, Pa. Thank you for making love with my mother and being in your vision, in your dream. I'm being a manifestation of that. Thank you, Pa. And I say the same to my mother on the other side of the medicine wheel. I say, thank you, Ma, for being my mother and for being the incredible, strong woman and dear friend. Thank you for giving me life, for allowing me to be inside your body. Thank you for all the teaching gifts you gave me, Ma. Thank you for bringing me onto this path in such a way. Thank you, Pa, for doing it, for allowing the medicine to manifest. Okay, so there we are. Now, I use stones on the medicine wheel to anchor the energy. Stones are great for pulling things down, for anchoring the chi. And so I've got here a white stone for the north, a red stone for the east, a yellow stone for the south, and a black stone for the west. At the cross quarters, I've got my grandfathers and my grandmothers. Now let me describe this to you. As you can see, I've got my legs on the ground. And that means that my communication system, my body energetic communication system, is going to be gaining information from the mother, from below me, because this is the mother energy going down through my legs and coming up through my legs into my body. So Chinese medicine does this beautifully, because the energy comes down from the head down into the earth and then comes up from the earth into the body. So these limbs here are to do with my grandmothers. Both my grandmothers are on these limbs here. Yeah? So if I look at the medicine wheel, I put the medicine wheel on my body. My grandmothers are here. And where are my grandfathers? They're here. On my upper limbs. I am here. I am that I am. I am here. This is me. And I'm made up of my 4 grandparents. The right side of the body tends to be more yang, more active. The left-hand side of the body is more yin and more receptive. So this is female, the left side is female, the right side is yang, more masculine, more male. The bottom is yin, more female. The top is yang, more male, because I'm reaching up to heaven. I'm reaching up into the heavens. You might not believe in heaven in the afterlife, but you can believe in the heavens in the present life, the infinity above us, the manifestation below us of solidity of Mother Earth. She's the solidity of life. So all the yin is down below. So let's get my grandmothers. Because this is my mother, the left side of me is my mother, is the picture of my mother, then my mother's mother, Nana, dear woman, she is on my lower left limb. Now, I'm a man in this lifetime, and I have a father, Pa, and Pa is on my right side. And my upper right limb corresponds to my father's father, and to his father, and to his father, and to his father ad infinitum. So it goes to infinity to the masculine, and it goes infinity to the feminine. So this line coming across here is really powerful. This would be in the medicine wheel. This is the Beltane energy crossing over to the Samhain energy, the cross quarters. So I have a stone over here for my mother's mother. It's a very beautiful stone. It's from Greenwich Park in South London. And there's a tree that Queen Elizabeth I used to come and have picnics in this oak tree when she was a little girl. And I picked this stone up from the remnants of that tree with my daughter Joy, who happens to be a female, 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 female. Queen Elizabeth was a female. So I've got something very feminine to correspond to my grandmother, who came from the same region of that part of England, the south of England. For my grandfather, on my father's side, I have this beautiful stone here that comes from the beach in the south of England. And so I have a stone to anchor my grandfather on my father's side and my grandmother on my mother's side. Now let's go to my grandmother on my father's side. Mummy Pack. She was a beautiful old lady, made carpets, and she taught me how to smoke. When I was a little boy, she would say, "Stephen, would you like a Du Maurier cigarette?" And she'd give me a beautiful cigarette out of a silver cigarette case. Lovely to learn to smoke properly. So Mummy Pack is there, and I've got this lovely stone for Mummy Pack, which just looks like a lovely human being. Thank you, Mummy Pack. And for my mother's father, Skipper, he was an Irishman. So I have this piece of granite from Dublin. I found it at Dublin Harbour. So what I would like you to do is I would like you to collect stones for each of your grandparents, like you've collected stones for anchoring the medicine wheel. Collect some stones for honouring your grandparents and your parents. Because as I said before, your parents are the first generation of ancestors. The second generation are your grandparents, and you normally can remember their character, you can remember their teachings that they helped you with as a young person. But very likely you won't know their parents. And it would be very odd if you had even a name for the parents of your grandparents or for their grandparents. So in a way, you lose the remembering of the ancestors because we haven't got any memorabilia. We haven't got photographs like this. We've got photographs and items that correspond to your grandparents. And they're very useful to have, again, to anchor their presence, not just into the outer world, but especially into your inner world. Your DNA, your double helix, not a single helix, a double helix, as if each side of the double helix corresponds to mum and dad. The double helix is connected by amino acids, base amino acids, which cross over like a ladder. And I'm sure you've seen that. It's a very common sight now in science, is to see this ladder of the double helix spiraling. And that is the condensed DNA, because when it's normal in the cell, it's spread out in the nucleus. But then it concertinas up and it tightens up as a spiral in order to reproduce itself, to double itself up. And there are 4 base amino acids. There's adenine, thymine, glycine, and cytosine. And they work in pairs. Adenine and thymine, they work as a pair. And cytosine and guanine, they work as a pair. So they're like your grandparents. Because in that double helix, they always match up. Adenine and thymine are always at the opposite end of that ladder rung. And cytosine and guanine are always opposite each other, just like your grandparents. So you have your grandparents in every cell of your body, in your DNA. Now, when you have your articles, you have your pictures of your grandmother and your grandfather. These are lovely because they're like mirrors and they reflect back at you what you are made of. Now, this is where working with the ancestors is beautiful. Because you do have a relationship with your mum and dad. Okay? And as you sit here and you focus on your mother and father, see them smiling at you. And see this lovely smile of them being proud of you, grateful that you came into their lives. You gifted them. What a gift children are to parents, that you gifted yourself to your mother and father. What a gift. And now you imagine your 4 grandparents. And the way to connect without drama or trauma with your grandparents is by starting off very, very clearly and very positively. You look in yourself and you look for the smile. Because whoever is smiling at you is going to be calling you. So at any one moment, you go around the medicine wheel and you look at your mother's father. Is he smiling? Your mother's mother, is she smiling? Your father's mother, is she smiling? Your father's father, is he smiling? And as you go around and you take yourself into a trance to do it. So you could take a little rattle and you could just talk into your grandparents. And you could look in at the smile. Now, I've got something to thank my grandparents for, so I'm just going to look in there. And I find myself smiling when I do this because it's great fun, it's beautiful. And you look into this situation and you say thank you. And you go around the medicine wheel, you go from the grandfathers, and you go to the grandmothers, and you see them clearly. Now, you can take this a step further. Because it's wonderful if you can get harmony happening inside you. Well, if you start by getting harmony outside you, it's going to reflect as harmony inside you. So what I like to do is I like to imagine Grandfather Ash and Grandfather Bond, George Bond and Edward Ash, I like to imagine them going to the pub and enjoying either a pint of beer, or if they prefer wine, you just give them the choice. Or a whiskey and water. Well, I know Grandpa Bond would enjoy a whiskey and water. So you see the two of them into the pub, having a nice time. And you do the same with the grandmothers. You see the grandmothers together and you imagine them going and, maybe going to the pub, going to the pub and enjoying a gin and tonic or a glass of wine or something. And you could just see them in there actually really enjoying themselves, having a good conversation. And then what I like to do from there is I like to see the four of them sitting at the table having a nice chat. And Grandfather Ash and Grandfather Bond, they're having a nice chat. So what is it for you? Well, Grandfather who? Grandfather who? Grandmother who? Grandmother who? Put them together. Put them into the pub together or put them in the tea house. Okay? And they're sitting there having a nice cup of tea together and having cakes. But they're doing something together, yeah? Maybe going for a picnic. Going for a picnic. And then you put music on. And you imagine them getting up to dance. And you can see your grandparents on your mother's side dancing. And you can see your grandparents on your father's side dancing. Imagine it, imagine. Maybe John Lennon's Imagine them just dancing together. And then just imagine the couple changing over. And your mother's father dancing with your father's mother. And then your father's father dancing with your mother's mother. And then imagine them coming and having a group hug, you know? God, I know that would be difficult for some of them, but anyway, you still do it. You just imagine them and laughing together and saying, hey, isn't this fun? Isn't this fun? And then you can then just imagine them sitting down again and they've had a nice dance together and they've had some fun and now they're sitting down. How does it feel? Does it feel good? Yeah, it feels good. So then when you're finished and you feel good and you want to say thank you, I want to say thank you to my grandfathers for giving me wonderful instructions on how to create, how to dress well. They told me recently I should dress well. What are your grandparents saying to you? How are they instructing you, through your inner world? Because as I said, your grandparents are inside you, like your parents are inside you, like spirit is inside you, like the whole cosmos is inside you, like the Creator is inside you. That ultimate experience of the Creator, that creative juice is inside you and it's wanting harmony, it's wanting peace. And working with the ancestors is a great way of finding your peace. Because if you can find your peace in the characters of each of your grandparents and each of your parents and seeing the gifts that they brought to the world and the gifts that they're bringing out in you and your siblings, not just you, but your siblings, then this makes it the most amazingly beautiful exploration. Now, according to the medicine wheel, this time of the year, we're now in the diminishing moon, going down to new moon. New moon will be in 2 or 3 days. And we are past Samhain, so we're past this part of the medicine wheel, and we are approaching winter solstice. This stone here, which is a fossil, is placed on the positions like a clock of the year for me here. So we're past Samhain here, and we're approaching winter solstice. And what is winter solstice for you? Well, we're going to have a winter solstice event, and we're going to have, before the winter solstice event, we're going to have a Drum for Peace event. I Drum for Peace event, which you're most welcome to join us in. And so what you're doing is you're mapping out your internal world to the external world, and you're making it a beautiful map for yourself. And so when you're ready, you could take this on to one more stage, but we'll do that at another time. When you're ready, you close off your gratitude to each of your grandparents, and you close off the energy of the medicine wheel. So you say thank you to the power of the West, for the ancestors, for how much they've given you. You say thank you to the South for all the healing. You say thank you to the East for the new beginnings. And you say thank you to the North for the mystery. You say thank you to the earth for giving you a body. Say thank you to the sky for the breath. And you say thank you to your inner world for bringing you safely to this point in time, right now. I hope you've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed being with you, and I wish you well.